And there's a big comic book movie. I know they're all big, but this really is big. It's called Captain America, the First Avenger. And it stars Chris Evans, who you also remember from playing Johnny Storm, the Human Torch in Fantastic Four. Well, Chris will be with us in just a minute to tell us about Captain America. But first, let's take a look at Chris Evans in action in Captain America, the First Avenger. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You have a movie out. You probably don't know. You know, you do so many. You just work so much. But this one is called Captain America, the First Avenger.
That one, yeah. I know that one. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It was a small part. I worked a couple days.
Worked a couple of days. Yeah. So I'm going to start by asking you, in the most concise manner possible, to tell those poor souls that they don't know what a Marvel comic is. They never read it. This is the First Avenger. Yeah. Your guy, Steve Rogers, he's not the Second Avenger.
No, he's the first.
I don't even know who the Second Avenger is. And who cares?
Yeah.
First Avenger, I really care about. So who is he? Who is this guy?
He's a guy, he's living during the time of World War II. He's got a laundry list of ailments, shortcomings.
He can't enlist.
He's tried multiple times in multiple cities, lied on his application form just to have multiple chances. And every time he gets, it's 4F, scheduled 4F, unfit for service. And he's discovered by this doctor, Dr. Erskine, played by Stanley Tucci. And Stanley Tucci sees qualities in him that are fitting for the experiment that he's about to undergo.
Because he's a good man.
He's a good man. He's got a good heart, you know. I mean, in the face of all the things that life has dealt him, I think it's pretty easy for most people to become jaded. He's fallen victim to none of that. You know, he still chooses to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And he's an incredibly noble guy. He's got good values, and he's not doing it for people to see and for people to say good job and to give him praise. He's doing it just because it's the right thing to do.
When you brought a 90-pound asthmatic onto my army base, I let it slide. I thought, what the hell, maybe it'd be useful to you, like a gerbil. Look at that. He's making me cry. Hodge passed every test we gave him. He's big, he's fast, he obeys orders, he's a soldier.
He's a bully.
You don't win wars with niceness, Doctor. You win wars with guts. Grenade! Get away! Get back!
Dummy grenade.
Is this a test?
And yet, while you're playing Steve Rogers, you are a 90-pound weakling.
That's right.
I looked at that and I said, wait a minute.
Isn't it good? The special effects?
It's amazing.
They're so good.
So I thought you were going to sit here and tell me, as an actor with a theater background, that you just did it.
Went and lost 90 pounds.
You just,
pounds
at least he had to be 90 pounds, right?
It would have been nice to have done that. Time did not afford it. But it wasn't just about the weight. And when you see what they did, I just saw this great behind-the-scenes thing they're going to put on the DVD. They didn't just make me skinny. They you know, shrunk my frame and took out my jawline and made my cheek. You know, there's certain things that just it was structurally based. My skeleton was smaller. So no matter how much weight I lost, it wouldn't have achieved what they were looking for.
Rogers, Steven.
Just give me a chance.
Sorry, son.
I'm saving your life.
So I was pretty adamant about being, listen, this has to be me. And they did some tests and samples, and they ended up finding a way. It's unbelievable of shrinking me down. I mean, I'll watch scenes, and you can see, you know, my body will be moving, and it's my body making these movements, and they just scaled everything down. It's really like nothing I've ever seen.
Also, with this is a Marvel comic book, so if it's a hit, there's got to be more.
There'll be more.
There's got to be more.
There'll be more.
So you have to sign a deal for, and the Avengers.
Yeah.
Are you in the process still of making?
Oh yeah, we're halfway through. Yeah.
So you've got Iron Man, you've got Robert Downey,
Yeah.
you've got Chris Hemsworth, and you've got Thor there,
Yeah.
and you've got the Hulk, who has morphed
Yeah.
from Edward Norton into Mark
Mark
Ruffalo.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
think that these are amazing.
Yeah.
Does this make you anxious when you feel that maybe there's, how many movies are you contracted to do?
6.
6.
And it's, it's a double-edged sword. It's so tricky to complain because if we want to maintain a healthy amount of perspective, let's be real. I'm not in the coal mines. I'm doing what I love to do, and there's job security, and I have the power to, I have a voice. But there certainly are elements that are undeniable that make things difficult. A 6-picture contract, that could span 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think anybody could make a decision for the next decade of their lives. There's an endless list of possibilities that could make me in my future, in search of happiness, not want to do this anymore. And too bad. The good thing is, the great thing is, luckily when we come to the Avengers, I'm surrounded by people with experience, intelligence, and a willingness to help. Downey and Ruffalo and even Scarlett, who's younger than me, but wildly experienced and seasoned in this world, have great advice. And these guys have a way of helping me unplug and bring me back to neutral, and it's incredibly helpful.
Who's given you the best advice on who you are?
Downey's been fantastic. Downey's been so great. I didn't know what to expect with Downey. He's Robert Downey Jr. He is Iron Man. And I don't think we'd even be trying to tackle Avengers without what he brought to the table as Iron Man. So he really is king on set. And I didn't know how that was going to go. It could not be going better. I really can't say enough about him. He is the nicest guy in the world, and he's so supportive. And he really understands what I'm trying to tackle right now. And there was a piece of advice he gave me the other day, and it's a quote that's been said 100 times. It's even it's somewhat cliche. But I was asking him how he's navigated the obstacles that have been presented to him over the past 5, 10, 15 years. Some have been harder than others. And he kind of looked at me and kind of smiled, and he said, "Chris, this too shall pass." And we've all heard that before, but coming from him for some reason landed in a different way. It just meant a little more. It was nice.